while I absolutely devour my homemade protein matcha latte with pistachio, I will let you know what I'm going to be doing for my spring TBR, as well as the videos I would love to film in the months of March, April, and May. So welcome or welcome back to Gavin Reads It All. This is a quarterly thing that I like to do. I don't like to do monthly TBRs, I like to do seasonal TBRs. And I also like to let you know what I'm filming. Since a lot of the books that I read kind of fit around what I plan to film. But I will say, actually, I have given myself a lot of breathing room for the next 3 months. So if I fancy doing something on a whim and I fancy reading a certain something as well, then I can just do that. Crazy, I know. And already I feel like I am prioritizing doing videos that I am just really excited to make. And let me tell you, I'm so excited to be filming the videos I will be filming in the spring months. So we'll talk about any like book clubs and stuff. I'll talk about anything that's coming up at the end of February, so like before the spring really kicks in, so you know what's coming up on my channel. And then I'll talk about March, April, May specifically, and also just like some random priority books that I would love to get to that could fit into some of the vlogs, or I might just read them at a different time. But I would hope to get to them at some point in these months. So like the video if you enjoy, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into what I'm going to be doing. And hopefully it will entice you to stick around. So firstly, I'm going to talk about a couple of book club picks for my channel membership, which I do have linked down below if you would like to join. But the March book that I'm doing is Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinniman. And Matt Dinniman is the author of the Dungeon Crawler Call series, which I absolutely love. And this is a sci-fi novel not connected to Dungeon Crawler Call as far as I know. This one I don't know a whole lot of, but I just knew. I mean, it came in a broken binding box anyway, so it's not like I had any say in the matter. But I wanted it anyway, but I don't really know a whole lot about it. Just that there is like another game that is called Operation Bounce House, and I believe there are like bored Earthians, so like human beings, who are enlisted in like some kind of game, yeah, called Operation Bounce House. And I think some kind of corporation has enlisted these Earthians to do a hard reboot, aka exterminate this place. I'm not sure where, I'm not sure how, I'm not sure when, but it says we only have 5 days to cleanse the planet. Don't miss out on your chance to make a difference in the galaxy. The future of humanity is in your hands. I'm wondering if maybe this will connect to some real world, personal, political things that are going on at the minute, considering there are some certain countries who are loving their eradication schemes. So I'm hopeful that this will be a critical look on that, and we can hopefully discuss, hopefully have lots to say about it as well. And then for my next Agatha Christie solve along, which I have just put out a video only a few days ago of me trying to solve Cards on the Table, which was my last Christie crime solve along book. The next one I'm going to be doing is The Seven Dials Mystery, and it's by Agatha Christie. And we're not doing this one until May, so we have a couple of months to get into it. And I love to try and solve these books before I get to the end, and I do have my channel members join in on the solve along. We have a live show before we get to the reveal, so I let everyone know which page and which chapter to get up to and stop reading, so that we can share our theories, our ideas, our kind of insight into who we think is the killer or killers, and then we find out on the live show together whether we were wrong or right. It's a really fun time. I cannot wait for the next one. So the next one will be happening in early-ish May, and yeah, The Seven Dials Mystery, I don't really know what it's about. There isn't a synopsis or anything, but this one was recently adapted into a Netflix film. I think it's a film. I don't think it's a TV show. I believe it's a Netflix film, and I'm waiting to read this before I watch it, so this will definitely be the next one. And yeah, I'm very excited, so plenty of time to join in if you fancy doing that too. So just a quick couple of videos that's going up before March, and then one going up at the very start of March, but I'll be filming it in February. So at the minute, I'm almost done. It's not going to be a new series. It's not going to be a new series. I'm saying, oh, in 2026, I'm going to do less series, and here I am with like brand new series. Anyway, what I'm doing is a one-off special, okay? Well, actually, I've already done a vlog similar. So do you remember when I did my, I've read nothing on this shelf, let's fix that. And I did my shelf by shelf audit, and I know exactly how much percentage-wise I've read on each shelf. So my spreadsheet has a shelves page, and it's a visual representation of all of my shelves. And there's shelves that are in red that are under 50% red, and there are shelves that are in green that are over 50% red. And yeah, we're going to do like a little bit of a from red, R-E-D, to red, R-E-A-D. And I got really excited to do that, so I just started filming it, and that's what I've been doing. So that vlog should go up around about February 21st. So I'll not say what I've been reading for that vlog, you'll see that soon. But I think every now and then I do want to turn as many of my shelves green as possible, because there are a few red RED shelves that are really bad. So yeah, I'm just trying to fix my owned TBR and how much I've read in this home library. So yeah, that's a bit of a 2026 goal, but it's not going to be new series, okay? And then I do want to do another 24-hour reading vlog, which I think I will probably do this Thursday. So maybe the day after this video goes up, I think I might do a 24-hour. I think I will, because I love doing them. I really do. I did 2 last year. No, 3. No, did I do 2? No, 3. I did 3 last year, and I really enjoyed every single one that I did. Like, it's such a fun day. And I think I'm going to do, like, just reading for 24 hours, hyped books, like books that I'm really excited to read. And I was going to do, like, a romance edition for early February, but after reading the Game Changer series by Rachel Reed, I did get a little bit burnt out from romance. And I loved reading the Game Changer series, but I can only take romance in moderation. So doing a 24-hour for Valentine's Day was not really something that I kind of wanted to do in the end. So I'm repurposing doing a 24-hour reading vlog this month, and I'm just going to read books I'm excited to read. Nothing more to it. And so I will pick randomly. I might even pick some of the books that I mentioned later on in this video in my little priority list bit. But yeah, anything could happen. That should hopefully go up around about February 27th. And then up in early March is my next Snake Across My Bookshelves video, which I will start filming as soon as I finished my From Red to Read vlog. And I should be finishing that vlog probably tomorrow, actually. So I will be able to start Snake Across My Bookshelves pretty early, or I might start right after the 24-hour reading vlog. But that one is essentially going to be me kind of giving up control of my TBR. So I will be doing, obviously, my Snake Across My Bookshelves, where I use a random number generator to generate the shelves, and then I start on a specific shelf and I try and make a snake across my bookshelves. You know the drill. But I think every shelf I land on, I'm going to pick my top 4 books that I want to read off that shelf, and then let my members vote on which book I pick out of those 4 without telling them. I might, you know what I might do, actually, this might be a little bit crazy. I might do 3 books that I'm really excited for, like the top 3 books on that shelf that I want to read, and maybe the book on that shelf that I'm the least excited to read, and I'll not tell them which one is which, and let them vote. Let chaos happen, you know? I think that could be pretty good. That could add some additional stakes to the vlog. But I'm really excited to do the next Day Across My Bookshelves. I always have to wait until I have a little bit more time to do that, because who knows how long that's going to go for. So I'm waiting until I've got like the time to do it, so I don't have to rush or anything. So yeah, that should hopefully be filmed by the end of February and then up early March. And I don't know what the TBR is going to be for that video. And that's part of the excitement for me, is that it could be any of these shelves, could be any of these books. Okay, so now getting into like the actual spring months and letting you know what I'm doing in March, April and May. And honestly, I am so excited, because I'm filming probably 2 of my biggest videos ever. Like, not in terms of like length, although maybe, I'm filming 2 very big on location kind of videos. And these have been in the works for months, absolute months. So the first one that I'm going to be doing, and it's unavoidable. I wanted to surprise you guys and like when I upload them, but I feel like it's going to be unavoidable because I'll be posting on Instagram and stuff, and also they'll be up for early access for my members, and you'll see them pop up probably. So the first one I'm doing is going to be a High School Musical video, and I do have my TBR for it. And you're going to think, well, Gavin, what's so strange about that? You did Mary-Kate and Ashley a few years ago. You've done the Cheetah Girls and stuff like that. And I do have 6 books here. I have a High School Musical 2 novelization and 5 of these stories from East High books that came out in the 2000s when High School Musical was at its peak popularity. But the twist in the story is that I am doing a trip at the start of March, and I will be, for a few days, spending time at the actual resort they filmed High School Musical 2 at. So yeah, months and months and months ago, I booked the actual place they filmed the film at, and I'm going to try and recreate some of the songs there. And I'm currently in dress rehearsal now as well. I have mostly the costumes for it, but I'm also genuinely terrified to be doing that in public, because I don't know how many people are going to be there. I don't know if anyone's going to be watching me try and do Fabulous at the pool wearing my Sharpay Evans outfit. You know, it's just like, oh my God, if I chicken out, pretend I didn't say anything. But like, I'm going to be there regardless. Like, I booked everything, and, you know, I have the dates set and everything, and that's happening in the very start of March. And yeah, I'm just a little bit nervous. I'm a lot nervous, but it'll probably be the only time I ever go. So I need to make the most of it. And I want to do like the absolute most funnest vlog ever. And I do plan on trying to recreate Fabulous Gotta Go My Own Way, Bet on It, and All for One. So there are 4 songs I kind of want to recreate. And you know, I'm not a singer. I'm not a singer, so it's going to be cringe. It's going to be so bad. I can't sing for shit, but it's going to be so fun. And that is the vibe that we're bringing to 2026. That's all we need. We just need to be entertained. We need to have fun. And that is hopefully what I convey, despite the lack of talent that is going to be apparent in the High School Musical 2 vlog. So yeah, I'm going to spend a couple of days there because why the hell not? And I will be reading 6 High School Musical books. So yeah, stories from East High. I have number 1, number 2, number 6, number 8, and number 9. So I'm missing quite a good chunk in the middle there, but that's fine. We don't need it. We don't need those ones in the middle. But I've had these for 4 years, and I really do want to thank Anne, who sent me these, by the way. Anne is a sweet subscriber. Thank you so much. And honestly, like, the note is so lovely, a little bit personal, and it's just, I'm doing this for you, Anne, as well. Thank you so much for sending me these. So for the last 4 years, I've been wondering what to do with these books, and now is the time. So also in December 2024, January 2025, I did High School Musical watch-alongs on Patreon when I had a Patreon, and the idea came up during that, so this has been in the works for just over a year, and it's finally going to be made a reality. I cannot wait, and I will as well. Now, I don't want to put things behind a paywall for members, and anything that I film will be available for everyone, but I do want to do some like behind-the-scenes kind of videos for when I go and do these crazy on-location visits that I would never put out publicly anyway. So, you know, just like some behind the scenes stuff, like how I've booked it, and just like, you know, me actually like trying to film things and maybe being a little bit too like nervous or whatever. Things that would never make the vlog, things I would never make public. So I am thinking of doing some members exclusive behind the scenes if anyone's interested in that. And right after that, I'm going for a totally different vibe. So I'm going to make the most of my visit over America so that I can film the High School Musical 2 vlog. Back in August, I did start planning my next vlogs of Halloween. And so I will be filming the very first video for vlogs of Halloween right after the High School Musical 2 resort. So I'll be flying to the resort, and then right after my few days there, I'll be flying to my next location, which will be the house from Scream. So the very final act in the original Scream, it is all set in this one house, and the house is very iconic, and that house does offer, you know, tours and a fan experience and stuff like that. But back in August, I started to email the owner of this house, and I had to like sign contracts. I had to pay a little bit more because they don't do what I'm trying to do. And I wanted to rent the house for 48 hours, try and survive 2 nights in the Scream house and read horror books. And they said, yeah, we don't, like, this isn't an Airbnb, like, this is a fan experience. But we talked, and after a little while, we have come to an agreement, and I will be doing the Scream house for my Vlogs of Halloween 2026 premiere. So I will be filming that like 6 months before it's actually going to be premiering, but I couldn't waste this opportunity. I had to do both the High School Musical 2 vlog and the Scream House vlog, again, 2 very different vibes, like one after the other, so I'm making my most of being over there. And I do have a couple of books that I would love to read for it, and one of them is The Macabre by Kosoko Jackson. This one is a fairly new book, but it really caught my interest when people were posting about it on Instagram recently. This one follows a struggling painter who paints something like very disturbing, and the British Museum actually wants it, and he's not sure why, but the museum makes him do a test where he has to like enter his own macabre paintings and see if he can survive them, or like at least has the strength enough to survive them. And that sounds like really interesting to me, and I do plan on reading this on my way there to the Scream house so that I have like at least one book to talk about before I get into like the Scream stuff. So there will definitely be a book read for that vlog. I know sometimes there has been like criticism in the past when I'm doing my on location haunted vlogs is that sometimes I don't get a chance to finish the books I'm reading for it. So I do plan on like reading this, so at least I have a book to review in that vlog at some point. And then the book that I'm going to try and read while I'm at the Scream house is Bleed In, Bleed Out by Brian Macaulay. And this one was described as a little bit like a Scream type slasher horror novel. And that's why I wanted to take it and read it while I'm there, because I feel like this would really fit those Scream vibes. This one follows Hannah, and she's kind of running away from her past. I believe her fiance died in an accident, and she doesn't really want to talk about it. She wants to escape it. And her friends actually offer to take her to a wilderness retreat, I think. And there, I think, horror begins. But this actually caught on my radar because of Gabby from Gabby Reads, and she said it was very Scream-like. So I think that's what I'm going to try and read while I'm in the Scream house. It's actually not too long. I do think I'll get through it in the 48 hours that I'm there. But yeah, I thought I would let you know about two of those. So you'll not see the Scream vlog until September when I premiere the event, but I will be posting about it on Instagram. So you'll see it. You'll say it anyway, so it's fine. I have also started to do a vlog called like library books that I wanted to check out but didn't get a chance to. And I'm going to read, I think maybe 2 or 3 books for it. And I already have the first book for it. And that is Before You Suffocate Your Own Fool Self by Danielle Evans. So I said last year when I stopped doing my library challenge in like the finale that I posted in December, that I would still like to do videos using my library. And yeah, this is going to be the first one. So hopefully it'll come out in March. Over the years of doing my library challenge, there were sometimes books that I really want to check out but they weren't available, or they just didn't fit the prompt that I had for that month. And is anything that I kind of showed in the library challenge but didn't read, I kind of want to bring back for a second chance. And this one I wanted to check out, but Florence, my arch nemesis Florence, I believe had this checked out and it took months for it to come back in. So it finally came in, I got a notification, and yeah, this is when I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to do that vlog now because it's come in. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. This is also, I believe, a short story collection based in a world where inequality is reality, but where the shifting terrain of adolescence and family are the most complicated forces. And I actually picked this one up because of Olivia from Olivia's Catastrophe. She recommended it, and Olivia was my November kind of library challenge host. And so I tried to get it for November 2025, but it just wasn't in. So I have managed to get my hands on it now, and I'm so happy and I'm so excited to read it. Just to hold myself accountable as well, because Jan Agaton, I know you're watching. I'm holding myself accountable because the amount of times I've said, Jan, let's do this, and then I forget. Well, I'm holding myself accountable for this because we're going to do a Do Your Worst Revisited. And if you haven't checked the original vlogs, I will link mine and Jan's down below. But a couple of years ago now, we did swap like worst books that we've ever read in the hopes that we will find something that we like in those worst books. Because it's a series that Jan does on her channel where she has someone with opposite reading taste to her. So a lot of the time, something that's mentioned in someone's worst books video is something that Jan might enjoy. So that's kind of what we're doing. I'm going to say again, like if there's anything that Jan read and didn't like that I think I would, because yeah, sometimes our tastes just don't align. And it's going to be like a really exciting and fun project. So I don't know what I'm picking for that video yet, but that should be getting filmed around about the end of March and uploaded potentially start of April. But I'm saying it out loud now so I don't forget, like I did with the interview with the Vampire Buddy Read we were supposed to do last year, and I just totally forgot. In April, so April is again like very flexible at the minute, but I do know I want to do another Emboss or Toss, and this one is going to be called Mission Impossible. And a huge thank you to Jurassica Park, one of my members who did this like kind of choose your own adventure story kind of thing that I'm going to try and follow while fitting things to prompts. But I'm also going to have the added element that Mission Impossible is going to be me trying to read big books. And I do have some big books in my 26 books to read in 2026, and I kind of want to use that vlog to tackle more of my 26 books to read in 2026, which I'm already doing such a phenomenal job at so far this year. I've read 4. I've already read 4 of my 26 books to read in 2026, and it's currently not even mid-February as I'm filming this. So, I mean, well, actually it kind of is mid-February, but you know what I mean? This time last year, I think I probably read 0 of my 25 books to read in 2025. So I'm just being like very conscious of what I set out to do, and also the achievements as well, because I gamified my 26 books to read in 2026. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to unlock those achievements. I've already unlocked 4, and with these months as well, I think I'll actually get up to like maybe about 10 of my 26 books to read in 2026 by the end of May, potentially. I'm just saying. So one of the Mission Impossible books, this is crazy, is going to be King's Sorrow by Joe Hill. And this is like a definite, I will definitely keep some of the TBR secret, because who knows what I fancy by the start of April. I might change my mind and stuff, but I do think this one is going to be a priority because it's in my 26 books to read in 2026. And this is inspired by the King Arthur legend, I believe, but with a bit of a horror twist, because, you know, Joe Hill, he's a horror writer, the son of Stephen King. And yeah, I think this is more like a fantasy horror, and I've heard fantastic things about it. I know there's like a guy who gets like bullied, and this guy asks his friends to help exact vengeance against his bullies or something like that. Yeah, the 6 of them stumble backwards into a deadly bog, and they soon learn they must choose a new sacrifice for King's Sorrow each year, or one of them will become his next victim. So the fact that it is nearly 1,000 pages, it is like, yeah, well, nearly 900 pages, I should say, sorry. Whew, mission impossible indeed. Another massive book I'd like to read is The Shipwright and the Shroud Weaver by Raphael Tarubia. And yeah, this is another 26 books to read in 2026. And it just sounds so good. It sounds gothic. It sounds adventurous. It's also a hard one to explain because I believe this is set in a world where, you know, like gods are sort of decimated. The gods are murdered and their names are taken. And so we have a shipwright and a shroud weaver who I think are part of the gods who were kind of decimated, and now they only have their job occupation as their names, and they set out to kill the ultimate evil. This one is nearly 800 pages, so a bit less than King Sorrow, but not quite short. And you know what? Sometimes it is nice to read a nice short book. It feels like you're being productive and stuff, but sometimes that itch to read a massive book, it overcomes oneself. And I do feel that itch. Like, I'm starting to itch in the anal fissure. So yeah, there's going to be more for me. Did I just go knock the door? Oh, I did. Oh. I know. Oh, I know. Oh, can I just say I'm so happy that it's getting lighter now. Earlier. Oh, an actual sunlight is coming through the clouds. Oh. The springtime is my favourite time. It's not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light jacket. Can't quite remember what I was saying, but something about anal fissures. Take with that what you will. So I also want to do a second episode of TBR Traders. I'm trying to work on the format a little bit and just to make it a little bit more exciting and something that will work pretty well. And so I don't, again, like have a full-on dedicated TBR for that one either. But I do know a couple of books I really do want to read for it and will work really well. So TBR Traders was a new, reading vlog series that I wanted to do when I said I didn't want to do anymore. But it was really fun to do. I had an absolute blast filming it, and I'm thinking of how to improve in the second episode. And so one of the books I would like to get to in it is It Ends at Midnight by Harriet Tice. Harriet Tice was actually in the recent UK season of The Traitors, and she went in, I don't think she told anybody that she was a thriller author, and she did pretty decently. She was actually very captivating to watch. And so for TBR Traitors, I would love to read a book that a contestant of the actual Traitors has written. And I've had this for a couple of years. It came in the Abominable Book Box. It's set at New Year's Eve. There is a party, and it's set in Edinburgh as well. But by midnight, someone will die. All it says is one of the guests doesn't want resolution, they want revenge. So could be very good. I've heard good things about Harriet Tice's books. There's also another Harriet Tice book that's coming out in actually next week. It's coming out next week. It's called Witch Trial. I have pre-ordered that from Waterstones because literally as soon as, she was in the Traders and she was talking about it, I was just like, oh my god, I love this woman. Let's get it. Let's get it. And so I did pre-order it. So that should hopefully come next week from Waterstones. That could also be a good shout for the TBR Traders video also, with it being like a brand new one. So I don't really know too much about that one. It's another thriller. I'm sure I'll be surprised reading it. So then going to May, I do have another Snake Across My Bookshelves that I would like to do in May. And because May is my birthday month, the entire month, my birthday is every day in May, I do kind of want to go back in time a little bit. So when I do Snake Across My Bookshelves at the start of May, I kind of want to do like the oldest book that's on my TBR. So either that could mean the oldest book as in it came out like earlier than every other book, so it came out in like maybe the 1910s or like the 1920s or something like that, or the oldest book that I've owned on that shelf. So I could have bought that book in 2019, in 2018, 2017, and it's just like the oldest one that I have. So I haven't quite figured it out yet. I might do the oldest one that I bought and going through like my really backlist TBR for that. I think that could be really fun for my birthday month, since, I'm getting a little bit older, getting none the wiser, and I think it should be a really fun time. And so also following up from that, I would love to do a kind of like a birthday vlog where I read books from like the 90s. So I was born in the 90s. And so I would like to do a 90s inspired vlog. I think that could be really cool. I can license a song that came out in the 90s. I can maybe wear 90s clothing, read books either set in the 90s or came out in the 90s. I'm not 100% sure yet. Like again, like this is where like things are a little bit flexible. Like I do love planning far ahead. Like don't get me wrong, I really do. But yeah, there's something about this year where I'm just kind of winging it for a lot of it, whereas I still have some things like set in stone that I would really love to do. But like say for instance my birthday vlog, anything could happen in that. I don't have a TBR pick for it. I don't know what I own that came out in the 90s. I'm gonna have to like look into that a little bit more as well. And yeah, I think that could be fun. I definitely this year, because I said I would do it last year and I didn't do it, but this year I really do want to read Sherlock Holmes for the first time for Sherlock Holmes Day, which I believe is May 22nd, and it happens every year. And I was going to do it last year and I just forgot. I just forgot. This was even in my 25 books to read in 2025 and I didn't get to it. So I was like, okay, next year I'm going to do Sherlock Holmes Day and I'm going to read Sherlock Holmes for the first time. So I don't think I'll read the full thing. I will probably read a story or two either on Sherlock Holmes Day or before Sherlock Holmes Day and just upload the vlog on Sherlock Holmes Day. I've said Sherlock Holmes so many times, it doesn't sound like a real word anymore. But yeah, I've never read Sherlock Holmes before by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. But I have seen like some, adaptations. I've seen like the Sherlock Holmes films and I've seen some of the BBC TV show Sherlock. I watched Elementary as well, which was on CBS, I think, like 10 years ago. So I know of Sherlock. But I've never read Sherlock before, so yeah, it'll be really fun, especially since I do love trying to solve mysteries and reading a bit of Agatha Christie. I do think I will enjoy, but it's just taken so bloody long to get here, hasn't it? My next Stephen King video should hopefully come by the end of May as well, and for that one I will be reading Insomnia, I'll be rereading Rose Madder, I'll be reading The Green Mile for the first time, and everyone is like, oh my god, Gavin, I can't believe you've never seen the film. Yeah, I've never seen the film before. And then I'll be finishing that vlog off with Desperation. So pretty much all of these are kind of big-ish. They're kind of big-ish. Like, they're not that short. But hey, I've been enjoying reading my Stephen King books and read them in publication order. This will be for episode 8. I am 8 episodes deep in now, and I am in the 90s actually. Actually, that works out so well. This is actually perfect because I'm now at the point with Stephen King's bibliography that I have entered the 90s. Yay! Okay, that's awesome. And I really don't know anything about these books, essentially, apart from Rose Madder, because it'll be a reread. But this one, I believe, is set in Derry, Maine. And that's the same place where it is set. So that's going to be really interesting. But I believe it is about someone who is, like, losing sleep and there's something weird going on in Derry. Rose Madder is a tough one because it does follow a woman who is abused by her police husband. And I remember there being like some weird freaky painting. Like, this is definitely in need of a reread. There was like some weird freaky painting. And I remember liking this though. I gave it 4 stars the first time I read it. But it's a tough one to read from what I remember in terms of the subject matter. The Green Mile, I believe, is set in a prison. Because I kept getting this one mixed up with Shawshank Redemption. Because I've never seen the film for that either, but I think both of them are set in prisons. Well, Shawshank Redemption I have read now. Still haven't seen the film of that. The Green Mile, those who walk it do not return, because at the end is a room containing Cold Mountain Penitentiary's electric chair. And there is a black man convicted of the brutal murder of 2 little girls. So this one is probably going to be a really tough read. I've heard fantastic things about the movie. And then finally, Desperation, and I believe there is a Frederick Backman book that I need to read after this, which I will do in episode 9. And Desperation is apparently set in a mining town, and it's not really like a popular place anymore. I believe there is like a local cop who is a bit of a villain as well. So again, I'm going into these Stephen King books like completely unaware of what's actually supposed to happen, which is the best way of going in if you ask me. And so some priority TBR books I would love to read during this time frame as well. Everyone in This Bank is a Thief by Benjamin Stevenson. That one is the 3rd or 4th. I think it's the 4th because there's the Christmas novella. I think that one's technically the 3rd. So this might be the 4th. But I freaking love the Ernest Cunningham series. And that one, I believe, is already out in Australia. But it comes out in April in the UK. And I was just so excited. I love, 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 love that series. It's just so well written and so entertaining, so engrossing. And just a really fun kind of thriller mystery time. I'd love to get to Oliver Twist. This is also my 26 books to read in 2026. And I do think, because I did Les Mis in January, and I think I might do Oliver Twist like April or May. So that will be a few months after, so I'm like spacing out the classics throughout the year, which I think is the best way of doing it. So I'm not like bogging myself down with classics and then getting sick of them. And yeah, Oliver Twist follows an orphan boy in Victorian London, and he ends up getting under the wing of Fagin and the Awful Dodger, and he starts pickpocketing, because you've got to pick a pocket or two, am I right? And I haven't read a Charles Dickens book in so freaking long, and I think this is going to be really fun to get through. It will just be like the one dedicated vlog to this. It will be filled with spoilers, maybe a couple of musical numbers when I do a little bit of Nancy, but we'll see, because maybe after the High School Musical video I might have to go on vocal rest. You just never know, so we'll see. And then I also have To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Monica Blackgoose, which has been, again, So hyped for me. It is in my 26 books to read in 2026. I might end up reading this for the 24-hour vlog of really hyped books for me. But this is a fantasy. There is a 15-year-old girl who can connect to a dragon. And dragons aren't really common anymore. And her oppressors, because there are these arsehole conquerors of their land who are trying to take the land away from the indigenous people, and they aren't happy that this 15-year-old girl can connect and bond with a dragon. So I've heard fantastic things about it. It's in my 26 books to read in 2026. Gotta be done. And then I also have this from my 26 books to read in 2026. This was on my TBR Traders episode 1 TBR, but I didn't get a chance to read it, which I was so upset about. But Cursed Daughters genuinely sounds like it's right up my street. I saw it hyped up during like the Goodreads season, so I don't want to wait too long to read this one, because then yeah, the hype will die down by the time I get to it. But yeah, Ian Braithwaite is the writer of this one, who also wrote My Sister the Serial Killer, and this one just sounds so good. There are these women in this family who are said to be like kind of cursed. Like any man they bring into the family, they won't be happy. And the main character does save a boy from drowning. And the main character as well is said to be a reincarnation of someone who was part of the family years ago, like some kind of ancestor. So there's like a lot of importance there, and it sounds like it's not just like a contemporary, like a straightforward contemporary. Sounds a little bit fantastical as well. I'm not really sure how to categorize this at the minute, but I think once I've read it, I'll know. So yeah, I'm very excited to read this. I might read it in the 24-hour reading vlog as well, just to make sure it actually gets read. Because if I try and do it like in the next TBR Traders, for instance, it might not get picked as a trader. Or it could be in a staying across my bookshelves if I land on that bookshelf. You know, you just never know. And there are plenty of other books that I would love to read as well, but I feel like this video is getting so super long at the minute, and I definitely feel just absolutely happy with what I'm making at the minute. So hopefully you guys do too. I hope you're all excited about the plans that I have for the next 3 months on my channel. I hope you stick around for it, honestly. And it means the world to me, to all of you guys who are already here. Like, thank you so much. So yeah, having said that, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all the comments down below. Let me know what you're planning to read in the spring months. I just realized as well, I don't think anything that I picked for the spring months really screams spring. You know, I didn't really fit that theme, but I'm reading what I want. What can I say? So yeah, please do let me know everything you're reading in the spring. I want to give a huge thank you to my channel members for supporting my channel. If you'd like to join my channel membership, then the link is in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.